Five, four, three, two. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Functioning Chat. Oh, hi, ladies.
Hello,
Five,
hello.
4, 3, 2. Hi, everybody.
Sorry, my bad. My bad.
Oh, that means mine will start doing it here in just a second as well. So I'm going to
I
go
was
ahead and
busy
mute it.
sharing it out, and I
There we go.
forgot to mute it.
All right,
No.
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get our music, and then we'll come back and chat.
I ain't gonna hide you there all on that day. I said, Rock, what's the matter with you, Rock? Don't you see I need you, Rock? Lord, 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 all on that day. So I run to the river, it was bleeding, I run to the sea. It was bleeding, I run to the sea. It was bleeding all on that day. So I run to the river. It was boiling, I run to the sea. It was boiling, I run to the sea. It was boiling all on that day. So I run to the Lord. Please hide me, Lord. Don't you see me praying?
I've debated whether to change that or not, but
What song is that?
Sinner Man.
Okay.
So there you go.
Kind of reggae.
It's kind of, that's the reason why I went with it, but I don't know. I like it though. So, anyways, let's say hi to everybody. We got Dark Lord Menadin with us, the Inquisitive Farmwife, the movie theatress, Michelle, Big Valley Living, Suburban Hillbilly. Thank you for coming in. Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, Miss Christine from Mrs. Gillum Farms. Thank you everybody for coming in. So, okay, ladies, shall we give them the bad news?
Yes, please.
Is it bad or is it?
It's bad. I think it's awesome.
I think it's not bad. I think it's a change,
Yeah,
and we all have to adjust to change, don't we?
yeah.
Okay, so we had previously started doing the $40 food pantry challenge. Okay, and it was $10 a week, $40 a month, $20 every other week, whichever it was that you did. And then time happens, and family happens, and holidays happen, and you know, one thing leads to another, and you just get behind, right? Well, that's where we found ourselves. Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here, Tony? Please
Well,
tell
I'm
us.
glad you asked that question, Michelle. You like that long delay waiting for the
We had to build.
Okay. Anyway, Reno
Oh,
LaRue,
Suburban
thank you for
Hillbilly.
coming in. Nanny Tam, you too. Here's what we're gonna do. We're still moving forward, but we're kind of revamping it a little bit. We're gonna change it to this third week each month will be devoted to what's up with your pantry. Okay. And in conversation we had, all of us are doing the pantry thing, but we're doing it from different viewpoints, different ways we're coming at it. And I think we collectively agreed that it would be nice to portray that in what we're showing because not everybody does it exactly the same way. Everybody's got different means of doing it, different resources, different reasons, different whys, how comes, all that. Okay. So I'll point it out and then we can come back and discuss it a little bit. Angela's from a standpoint of cleaning out her pantry because she has had kids that have been there for a very long time and now the number's dwindling. So she's got a large pantry.
Say it. I'm becoming an empty nester.
I was trying to avoid that word as much as I could.
Okay? I know.
But that leaves you with a lot of consumables that need to be consumed, you know? So that's one direction. So for her to go out and restock and totally fill a pantry makes absolutely no sense when she's going to be trying to expend that pantry so that she can get down to the size that she only needs versus having a large quantity. Michelle, on the other hand, is more fresh, monthly. Things will happen as they need it for their meal plans, their way of eating, their lifestyle change that they've made. And so for them to go out and buy a ton of canned food or things like that doesn't necessarily fit into what they're doing, but they still have to have access to a pantry of sorts. Okay. The biggest problem we all come down to is what is the definition of sorts? That really is where it comes down to. Okay. And then mine, I'm being blatantly honest with everybody in here. After the holidays, I'm starting all over. We annihilated our pantry. It's like almost non-existent. Okay.
But that's good though, because it was there when you needed it.
You are correct. Yeah. But that's a long haul to restart over, but the benefit we're going to have is that you're going through, Angela's going through a process of expending hers. I'm going through a process of rebuilding mine, and Michelle's in the middle, but coming at it from a whole different perspective, So I think this is perfect. It's a good time to do it. We got waylaid a couple months, and I think let's start from here and move forward. And so it will just be called What's Up with Your Pantry. It's not a matter of a number of dollar challenges or how many times you go to the store or whatever. But at the same token, if we find those deals, there's nothing wrong with us talking about them either.
Yeah. And that's how I feel my pantry is. Right. I'm a bargain shopper. And if I see a really good deal and I have it in my budget, possibly I might buy 10 or 20 of something versus, getting it 3 at one time to just spend that $40 or whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm. What about you, Michelle?
Well, we needed some mushrooms. So I bought 2 flats of mushrooms and canned them up 2 different ways. So I think all told that was somewhere in the neighborhood of $50, but it saved us probably almost 100. So,
right.
So I don't know. And we're also,
excuse me,
earlier today, we canned a lot of corn. Coffee? We canned a lot of corn.
Oh, please, while you're at it, JJ.
He needed his cup.
Oh, please.
He's gonna come and cheers you now.
There you go, bud.
But we painstakingly got some corn. It's been 2 summers ago now, so we're looking at about 18 months ago, and we did so much corn and we canned it all. And the way that I like corn, we've eaten all that, but the other way is just plain. And I'm like, oh my gosh! But I think I have 16 pints of corn. Not a bad problem to have, but it gets a little chewy over time. And now I'm like, I don't want to waste it. That was a lot of effort. So I don't know. It's us knowing what we want and maybe not trying to do a year's worth of food at once.
Right.
Maybe 6 to 7 months, except for the tomato sauce, because tomatoes only come around in the summertime.
Right. I want to say hi to a couple of people that have popped in. SDP, Sapphire, Diamond, and Pearls. Thank you for coming in. Prepping for Heaven's in with us. Rena LaRue's in with us. And I want to highlight a couple things because I think it's what's beneficial to know if we're moving in the right direction, which this, for me, kind of confirms what we're talking about. And that would be what Heather said. She doesn't shop anymore. Okay. Mm-hmm. So her pantry needs are not going to be go out and fill it up. It's how do I resituate it? How does it become restocked? Mm-hmm. Checking your lids and things like that on canned items. Are my dry goods still good? And then you got Christine, who's cleaning out and listing her stock so she knows what she has. The perspective we're coming from, I think, is very good. And we talked about this earlier. There you go. Christine says she likes the new direction. So that's good to know.
Okay? I think it'll cover a much wider base of people.
I do.
Yes. Yes. Now, that is not to say, like I said before, if we find a good deal, telling people what we got. Okay. But I also think it for me specifically, if anybody has a question, I can steer you in the right direction, or I might have a pantry planning document. I may have, don't forget these items. I may have, here's a way you can do it this way or that way. Now, they're not all my documents, but they're documents I can share with you because that's what they're intended to be for. So the resources are still there. I still think that we all support the same thing we always have, which is, and correct me if I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, I don't want to mislead anybody. Your refrigerator, your shelf, your spice rack, your everyday use, your short-term use, your long-term use, your freezer, your dehydrator, your freeze dryer, all of those are part of the pantry system.
Mm-hmm.
So do we all agree with that?
I do.
Okay. And Michelle's nodding her head, so we'll go with yes. Excuse me. So, and this is what really is important. Okay. Don't treat your pantry as once it's stocked, I walk away from it and never touch it again, because you will lose a lot of food items eventually. Okay.
Yeah.
And the whole process, it does happen. And I'm not here to say it's never happened to me, because it does. I got carrots in there I got to eat somehow soon. I'm kind of in Michelle's situation there, you know. But at the same token, if you make it all a working process, the evolution of those items getting moved into the, you know, from long-term to short-term to now it's in my cupboard, it gets rotated naturally. And the rotation for me is the biggest issue most people have. You got to remember to rotate those items so you don't have something from 2 years ago in behind something that you bought just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And the only way I see around that is we bought one of those FIFO systems for the canned goods that we use all the time. Mm-hmm. Like see at the grocery store, right? They load them up top and then it goes through a thing. And the oldest thing is always in front of you.
Which it should be, yes.
So we did that, but that was 12 years ago. And now our household is completely changed. We've pared it down to, we only have like 6 of those. Right. We're using even fewer and fewer canned goods from the store. And I don't want to put my jars in those things because I don't want them clanking, and I want my jars sitting upright. So now it's like, okay, we've got this space taken up using something that used to be perfect. And then like with pineapple, right? If I find pineapple on sale, which I can't believe I'm saying this, 2 for $5 seems to be the best deal these days, and it just breaks my heart of the cans. Yeah. And we, living in California, are not getting the screaming deals on fresh pineapple like y'all get in the Midwest. Go figure.
But there's a trade-off there, sister, because you can get mushrooms right now and we can't. So you know.
Hey, don't be a hater.
And that's what I think I like about this.
I love pick a lemon and put it in your face. No,
but I love this because we're all kind of in a different place right now. So Michelle is just trying new recipes, seeing what they like, seeing what they want to put on their shelf to replace those store-bought canned food items, and see where she can save money. Like today, I think you said did you tell everyone you were canning beans today? And so I'm sure that's a cost saver. Anyway, I think this is going to be great because.
Well, and I think if we can drop hints along the way, that's also going to help people that might be questioning. Now, one thing I want to keep, I do not want to lose. Okay. And I want to address a couple things in chat. I want to say hi to Helena M has popped in. Thank you for coming in. Is something that Heather asked. First, I'll address this. It's not intended for one pantry, and I hope I understand the question correctly. What we will discuss will be all of our pantry to include all of those things, long-term, short-term, what you're using on a daily basis, whether it's freeze-dried materials, dehydrated materials, canned, store-bought, all of that stuff is inclusive to our definition of a pantry. So no, it doesn't mean just one spot in what is a pantry, but it could also flow over to additional ones if you have more than one.
Or like me, I have a working pantry, but then I also have my storage pantry.
Right.
For overflow.
And that's how
I also want to say one thing because I've already forgotten twice to say it. Sorry to interrupt you, Michelle, but it'll be gone if I don't. Tony, I need to ask you this first, but I would assume you'd still be okay with those who were participating not in the live here, but they're in the chat and they're sending you pictures of their deals that you would post them. And
that
still
was the second thing I was going to get to, which was we still want you guys involved in this as much as possible. Okay.
I want to see your pantries. I want to get ideas off you.
Yes. You know, if you feel comfortable doing it, do not do it if you don't, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But I do agree, because I thought that's what was great was we did have some people doing that, and I would love to be able to share what they found or were able to get. So it doesn't eliminate what we're doing. We're just doing it in a different way. That's all it is. Okay. And wholeheartedly, everybody that's involved can still stay involved. It's just from whichever perspective. That's why the name fit the best. What's going on in your pantry? Because it's your pantry. It's not mine. It's not Angela's. It's not Michelle's. And it's not anybody specific in chat. It's your pantry. So whatever that is, that's your business and how you go about doing it. If you still want to do the $40 challenge, just keep doing it what you're doing, and then just show us what you got. If you want to concentrate on trying to expend some of that because you have to, then do it. If you're relearning your pantry situation, then by all means do that as well, because that was one of the hangups we've had in every time we've tried to start and did this. Everybody was different. Nobody was the same, you know? And so we had some people that just didn't have space for a pantry. All they had was a working everyday use pantry, which was their cupboards in their kitchen. Okay. But that doesn't mean that's not a pantry either.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And I'll probably do it different even month to month. Like I may have several months where I just show you things I used or something like that. But then if I come across a stellar deal, I'll share that. And then another, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how this will evolve with me, but it'll be something to do with my pantry. I'll share with you.
I think what the better way to do in the direction for us to head in, and please agree or disagree, because this is us collectively doing it. So I want to make sure it's what you guys think would be best. But I think from your perspective, your angle, what did you do with your pantry over the last 4 weeks? Yeah. That would be more of what we're doing, which then allows people in chat to show us what they did with their pantry.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm sitting here and I got my new pantry list already started, and I'm trying to get it all situated so I can go out and start doing what I need to do. So,
well, and depending on the season for us, there are foods that we tend to eat more. I'm the primary cook, so when I say it's because I'm the one who has to plan what we eat.
Right.
And there are certain seasons, I'm sure this is true with most people. I try to eat, you know, whatever's fresh locally, obviously like the produce type stuff all year round.
Mm-hmm.
So that changes things, but also there are just foods that we eat more in the summertime than we do. We eat lighter foods in the summertime and heavier foods more in the fall and winter. So my pantry changes in that respect too. And that's where I have to resolve the storage problem, because if I'm storing a year's worth of something, but I'm not probably going to use any of it for 6 months, is it worth putting all that up, or should I just wait until the following year? If corn comes available every June and July, well, why do I don't need to store it until next July. I only really need to store it until like May, and
then in June you can go back and
start eating fresh, and then towards the end when it's really ripe and everything, then can some.
Right.
That's kind of where our pantry is evolving to.
Okay. So I want to say hi. I see it's either Glenn or Jess. I'm not sure which one. Gathered Together Homestead has joined us. So thank you for coming in. Haven't seen you guys in a while, so it's nice to see you. I think this is really what we're trying to say. It's based on the goals you set for your pantry. That's really what it comes down to. Okay. Mm-hmm. I did see another comment.
Xander, maybe.
Give me a second here. Sorry.
It might have been Xander about it doesn't have to be.
It was a Xander comment, but I can't remember. Oh, here it is, right here.
There.
Right there. It doesn't have to be the $40 a month. It can be like his, where it's just an extra $1 a shopping trip, and then he's able to add things. It's whatever fits your budget, whatever fits your space. We did the dollar amount just so that there was kind of an idea of where to be. That's all that was. Mm-hmm. And at the same token, like Christine says, make it fit to what you're doing. It doesn't mean you can't experiment or edge out and see if something else works, but by all means, don't just because we said so, stop doing everything. And then you're like, now what do I do? Okay, now where do I go now? Because I emptied all my cupboards and gotten rid of everything. Where do I go from here? So we're not saying do that. Please don't do that.
See, I'm kind of in the same boat as a few people here. We don't have a big kitchen. We have a little tiny pantry that we try to make into everything.
Most of us have a tiny kitchen except one individual.
Some people have 2 kitchens.
Some people do.
Some people planned well.
There you go. I'll go with that.
But yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, is that I've got so much shelf space. Now, JJ and I were talking today about taking a space that we could probably put another shelf on between 2 and get an entire shelf that we can put pints into. Right. And we have now discovered that for the most part, pints are the way we're going to go because it's the 2 of us.
And see, that's me now. If I'm using quarts, it's going to be more of a meals in a jar thing.
Yes.
And the ingredients are going to be in pints or half pints, because the other day I went to put together a soup and I'm used to grabbing a quart of green beans, carrots, all the veg. And it's like, it took us almost a week to get through that.
Right. I want to say hi to Teresa Jukiewicz, or TJ, as I've named her, and Janice, Where to Begin Homestead. Thank you for coming in. I think what's funny about this, okay, now we're talking, now we're getting into nuts and bolts of things. 3 different directions we're coming from, but we all have one thing in common that I've just found out. I'm a pint canner as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just because of the ability to manipulate or control whichever I'm trying to do in a recipe, or the number of people we're feeding or not feeding, it's easier to do it with the pints than it is with the quart jars.
Right.
So there you go.
More flexibility that way. Yeah.
A lot more flexibility. And I'm kind of like you are, Angela. If I got a broth, then I'm using 2 other pints of vegetables or a protein or something, because I'm an ingredient cooker or a canner. That is just me, and that's the way I've been. And yes, I want to delve out into a couple other things, but I want it to be safe and I don't want it to go bad. I mean, that's just the way it is. So I'm evolving into that realm. I just haven't got there yet. So.
Right. And I'm looking at
years, like a decade.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying it took me almost a decade to go from an ingredient canner to this, because I think I kind of saw this happening when my first one went to college, plus after having, a good 10 plus years under my belt of just canning, I felt a little more brave to be able to put some of those ingredients, other than like salsa or something like that, to mix ingredients together and make, like a soup in a jar or whatever.
Right. And I'm not knocking quarts. If people want to do in quarts, that is totally fine and up to them. Just for me, and it sounds like the other 2 of you as well, pint on down is better. Well, yeah.
I love those too.
Yes.
We do quarts for like tomato sauce. We do quarts for broth. I was looking at, some of the comments too. However, a lot of recipes that we make call for 2 cups of broth.
Right.
So if you buy it at the store, which is like $5 a carton now for 4 cups of broth.
Yeah.
So and half of it is sodium.
Yeah. and then you have to plan to use it.
Right.
You may not want to plan to use it. Don't put baby in a corner. I don't want you to tell me I got to use it, right? Is that what?
Throw the baby in a corner. I love that.
But so yeah, we, when I did mushroom broth, I did some quarts, but for the most part, I did pints because I'm going to be adding 2 cups here and 2 cups there.
Yep.
Right.
Same with chicken broth and beef broth. I hate seeing that half empty carton in the refrigerator and then saying, oh yeah, that's right, I need to use that. Once it's open, I feel the need to use it within 4 days or so because
that's kind of way we are too. Yeah.
Flavor, right? Yeah. So I don't know. So I find pints just to be so much better, and it means that we don't make so much chili, that we have so much chili in the freezer, because I don't know how to make a small pan of chili.
We'll have to talk about that at some point, because I think there's another idea in this conversation. When you're trying to downsize, how do you do it when you're used to large size? Because one of the biggest faults me and Patty have, we've always cooked for big. I don't know how to cook for small.
It's hard.
That math does not equate in my brain very easily.
I know. It's like, oh, okay, well, it's not even worth it. I guess we'll just have lunch meat or peanut butter and jelly. I mean, because you just, it's like, oh, it's just 2 of us. It's not worth it. Well, yes, it is. It is worth it. You just need to learn how to do it.
Yep.
Exactly.
I think I know I did say, I prefer pints. I do, except for broth. That would be quart if I can do it. And then I would probably say I've done the only 2 times I've done the tomato sauce, and I've done pasta sauce other than this last year. I've done it every year in pints. It's always been in pints, but I want to evolve into quarts just because of the large amount we use. Right. We use it quite often.
See, spaghetti sauce is one that sometimes, 2 quarts at least is necessary. But like pizza sauce, a pint is plenty.
Pint is plenty, right? Yeah. And it depends on who you're feeding too, because like Patty likes more of a wet sauce spaghetti.
True.
Some people like a drier spaghetti, but having that extra, you can accommodate both sides if necessary. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, and now I'm starting to use Little Miss Tilly, my freeze dryer.
Right.
So we went camping a few weeks ago, and I said to JJ, I don't want to be cooking all weekend, so I'm going to do a dump and go in the crock pot, and we're just going to eat chili all weekend. Well, no matter how much chili we ate, it was a full crock pot. So I got home and we had just enough to fill 2 trays. So I'm freeze drying chili for the first time. And I'm going to be able to take it to work, right? And I'm going to figure out what fills my bowl the way I want it to when I take to work.
Right.
And I'm going to package it that way in not Mylar, because they'll be eaten too soon, but little plastic packets, and then I can just grab that, take a thermos of hot water that I can use for hot tea and for my lunch. And my life is going to be greatly simplified by doing this. So I am going to start freeze drying leftovers, but intentional leftovers.
But it's different if it's intentional versus, now what do I do with it? That's a whole different
That's where it was on the chili, trust me.
Right. No, I get that.
And you can dehydrate chili too, just so everyone knows.
Exactly. Well, I sure hope you can, because when I get off of this live, I'm going to be putting it in, I'm going to be testing it.
No, dehydrate. If they don't have a freeze dryer, they can dehydrate it. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tony, did you hear that?
Tony's like, I don't know what leftovers are.
Dehydrate just about
it never fails. We make extra intentionally for the leftovers, and it's gone.
Yeah.
I make
and then there's other times we can make a bunch and it just sits there and nobody eats it. So there's 2 sides to that.
We actually make roast beef dinner just for the leftovers, so we can make cottage pie, because I'm not a big fan of a roast beef dinner, but I'll eat cottage pie until the cows come home.
Yeah.
So
hello, Tammy, Mountain Grandma. She's come in. Sorry.
Oh, hi. So sounds like we're kind of in the same place.
And we just come. I think that is why this change is going to be good, because it's we're all going through the same thing, just from a different direction. That's the thing.
We all have a pantry, right?
Yes.
or we all hope to have a pantry.
Whether it's a cupboard or a room or dedicated space, you have it. I remember when we first started this on my channel a while ago, and that it just like all the rest of them, time took over and you get away from it. But one of the people that was on said, I don't have a pantry. And I was like, well, open your cupboard. And of course it had canned food and spices. And I'm like, there's your pantry.
Your fridge is your pantry too.
Your fridge is your pantry. Your freezer is your pantry. That's why we don't limit it to a individual dedicated space, because all of us have different situations we're all living in. So,
some people put canned food underneath their bed in those little craft containers.
Yep.
Some dust free, and they put the top on it and they put it down there. I think that's ingenious. Really.
Yep. No, I agree 100%.
Remember Jane from Two Doctors Homestead?
Janet, yeah.
She takes their empty jars for canning and she puts water in them. So the empty jars don't just sit on the shelf. In the event of a water emergency, they always have water. I think that is such a great idea.
And you can open it up, feed your plants or whatever, still don't waste
There's
it.
no chlorine in it or anything like that. Give it to your pets or whatever. But I just think that's such a great idea.
Can I impose on you too? I forgot to use the restroom before you started.
Oh, yeah.
Really bad. I'll be right back. Sorry.
We're talkers. We got this. No, I'm excited about changing this up a little bit because I was, I'm doing I don't know how many of y'all in the chat are participating in Three Rivers is having a pantry challenge, whether you're doing that one or just a pantry challenge in general. A lot of people come January, December was rough on you. So you're trying to eat out of your pantries and use what you have. It has been an eye-opening experience for me. This is the first year I have done as well. I mean, I give myself the leniency of when we go out of town and things like that sometimes it's just not feasible to take food with you. But I have used so much more stuff and I have found so much more stuff that I forgot that I had that, I get on these deals or whatever, and then I tuck them away because I don't want the family to eat all the treats right away. And then the other day I found from Halloween, we had a bag of Reese's peanut butter cups. And my husband and I are like, woohoo! It's not something we would have went and just splurged on because I'm doing the pantry challenge, but it was kind of fun to find that, tucked away and hidden. But I'm finding that I have more than I realized. So I'm wanting to challenge myself to really go through there and really clean out. Like I try to clean my pantries and freezers once a year, but he's back.
Sorry,
but it seems like lately I've been in such a rush that it's like, okay, just move the extra meat from this freezer to this freezer and then refill this freezer when bring in the new cow or whatever. And so I'm excited about using what I have before it goes bad.
Hello, Gail Southern Living. Thank you for coming in. So now that being said, and we've let the cat out of the bag, we'll say.
Meow.
What do we want to see moving forward? What is it we're looking to talk about theoretically each time we meet, which is the third Sunday of each month?
Maybe what we've done in the last month. What did you find that you used? Did you have to restock something? Did you finish something that you probably aren't going to be restocking for a while? I don't know. Right?
No, that's a great starting point. I mean, I think as we get doing it longer, it'll evolve into more. But I mean, I think that's
I think it's going to be evolving. Yeah. I'm excited to get to the point where I'm going to be able to get a list going again. Like the last time we brought in a cow, not this last one, but the time before, I was so proud of myself. Before I put things in the freezer, X amount of roast, and I had my little chart. So when I would go in and I'd get 2 pounds of hamburger, I'd cross the number out and change it. So I always knew on the outside of my freezer, Well, then my family didn't do it and they would get stuff and then I gave up. But I want to get back into it. So I'm excited about the things that you said that you're going to be sharing with us, Tony, to help us try to get a little more organized about this. Because how many times do we go and it's like, I have 15 cream of tartars and I don't need them. I needed, alum or whatever, that is similar. And it's like, oh.
Oh, hold on just a second. So I want to make sure I got an email. Okay, hold that thought just for a second because I do want to address that, but I do want to so let's dedicate 15 minutes of each live we do every third Sunday to a resource, whether it's offering resources, having one available to show what we're doing with it, because I think I agree with you. Having some resources, if you don't know where to go and how to do it, or even just a thought process of how to do it, would probably help. Because when, just like you said, if my whole pantry set up on my list on paper, best case scenario ever thought, is always when it's on paper. But to have a list and then make your shopping list based on that. Okay. So my list has a par. What is it that has to be on that shelf so I know what I'm using moving forward? Okay. So I have a name of what the item is. I have the par, which is the normal number there. So say 6 of something. I don't care what it is. Then I have the count. So if I have 2, well, that's easy math. I'm supposed to have 6. I have 2. That means I need to get 4. Mm-hmm. Just make it easy, simple. That's what it doesn't have to be a lot, but then, okay, now what do I need? I can take all of that, move it into a new spreadsheet. There's my shopping list.
And it could be such a thing where you just need to carve out time. You need to take time to clean that cabinet out, like completely clean it out all the way to the back, get all the little crumbs out.
Oh, that's when we get angry with ourselves.
Yes. And then you do that and you make a huge mess and you cry and then you go back to it and you organize it and you line it up. And so your olives that you had, under the bed in this room and then in the cabinet in the kitchen and wherever and then you know what you have. And kind of like what Tony was saying, but sometimes you just have to make yourself take the time to do it too. And that's where
I'm the biggest felon of that crime right there. I am.
So. I'm not a meal planner either. And this has been something I've been doing during the pantry challenge because I'm forcing myself to go into those freezers and use that stuff up. Right. And my family is actually on board this year for the most part. And maybe it's because there's less of them here. I don't know, but they've gotten used to it now. And so I'm kind of excited about it. I don't know about you guys and how that works for you, but if someone else is on board with it, that system is going to work a little bit better, probably.
It makes a huge difference.
And we like to do that. We like to say, okay, it's easy to say, oh, I want to make XYZ tonight. And, but I only need one thing, right? I am super guilty as charged. There's something I need to go to the store every day. I don't need to spend a lot of money, but I just feel the need to go out, and that's my social life, I guess.
And so I'm not that way at all. I'm
here to tell everybody, really Michelle.
We're in town, so
you go to work, you leave the home.
Michelle's totally happy to go out and caress a Costco shopping cart. She has no problem with that.
I just wander around Costco aimlessly. I'm telling you.
I'm sorry. I just blew it out there.
But not Costco, though. I like going to the grocery store. But I just I don't know. I'm guilty of getting one or two things, but sometimes, like JJ will say, wait a minute, don't we have this in the refrigerator and that on the shelf and this? Let's make whatever it is. Like the other day, we made bean burritos because we had everything we needed, and it was a whole lot easier than running anywhere for anything.
Right.
So it's just a matter of thinking, first, what do you have in your house?
Mm-hmm.
And then is it really worth the time and effort to go out? And do you really need or want to spend the money? Probably not.
And open your mind to alternatives.
Yes.
Yeah. And we don't have to have the same food. We do like trying different things.
Yes.
But like if you don't have ground beef, but you have ground pork, but the recipe calls for ground beef.
Oh, yeah.
You know, those kind of things. My husband is the one that was like, no, we got to have this particular pepper or whatever. I'm like, no, it's going to be okay. We have this other frozen.
Okay, honey.
You don't have to have fresh. Yeah. And so sometimes that is a reason to go to the store or whatever too, because you think I got to have chili peppers. Right. No, you can't. Use the jalapenos you have.
Yeah.
So I want to hit a couple things. Ann Lockie says hello from the UK, so thank you for coming in. I seen.
There's a couple.
Well, Heather says that. Heather says this. Then that's a great idea. You know, it is having it at your fingertips makes a huge difference. It really does.
We went to the store 3 times and didn't get ketchup and mustard because nobody wrote it down.
Yes, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Or you can be like me and you never bake, and every time it's fall and you say, oh, I think we need powdered sugar, and you end up with 2 big Tupperware containers of powdered sugar.
Yep.
We still have only used 1 bag in 2 years.
I'll come back to that in just a second, but Gail says I did the one cabinet, another day I did another. It feels nice to get organized, and it does. My problem is finding the time to do it usually. Now, my definition of needed time and wanted time are a little skew and overlapping sometimes. But anyways, back on the thing for baking, I was always out of cream of tartar. Always. Needed it for something, whatever it is I'm making for the things I was doing. Inevitably, I'd have to go get the little bottle for $7.99 and kick myself in the rear end every time I did it. And then when I went back and went to go, I mean, it's so rare, but there are times you need it. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. But when I go back, because it already been open and now you got an open container, you go to use it and it's all stuck hard, clumpy together. You can't use it. Well, I get spices up here at our local store now, and they have a whole container, 16 ounces of cream of tartar for $5.99. Why would I not?
Kidding me.
Why would I not buy it? Okay.
Yeah,
because
there might be one you could put in the freezer. I don't know how that would work.
I don't know. I got to look into it more because it's obvious. I mean, it's not I'm not using it anymore, but it's not hardening up and I'm not wasting the money in it.
You could buy in bulk and put in smaller containers and seal them. So like a half pint jelly jar, you could fill it full of that and then use your little sealer.
That's the thing. I want to get that's what I want. That's what I want.
You don't have a jar sealer?
No. Don't start with me. Don't start.
No, I might have one for you. We'll see.
You don't have to. I'm just saying it's one of those things I don't have that would make preserving and pantry stocking and all that so much easier. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to miss this though. Okay. Because I think this is a very important thought process. And thank you, Christine, because I think it makes sense. Plan, do, study, act. Develop a plan to help you make steps to meet your goals. Implement your plan, the do part. Analyze it. Study it. Is it working for you? Is it not working for you? And then it's an ever evolving process like this will hopefully be, is that you can make changes as you go along. So great thought process. Thank you. Are there any others you wanted to pop up there before we move on?
I think you hit the couples that I was eyeballing.
Okay. I think the other Blackberry Rock Homestead. Thank you for coming in. I think we'll do good. I think this will move forward great. I think informational tools, suggestions, ideas. I think all of that. I think this will. I think really in the long run, it'll be more beneficial to more people in different ways. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody's okay with this change that we've decided to make. So.
And I like all the chat There's, lots of good ideas. So that's what this whole Sunday thing started out as in your realm, Tony. It was just to share ideas. So,
and that's the whole point. I just want to share the information with everybody. It's not about taking the rewards of something completed. It's about seeing the people realize that they can do it. It's not that I'm not trying to minimize anybody's issues, but it's not that it's that hard. It's just implementing it, doing it, getting in a routine. Then it becomes easier day by day, and you will find in the long run, you'll probably save yourself some money somewhere along the road.
Someone put that in the comments on the side. When you know what you've got, you save yourself money.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that 100%. Okay, what about you, Angela? What are you hoping that we get out of this?
I'm just excited that we're going to learn off of each other. I mean, I'm learning a lot here from the chat too.
Yep.
I'm, just like Christine was saying, this will help me stay motivated on my goals for my pantry. So probably accountability is what I'm looking forward to the most, because I can say I'm going to do all these things and then not do them. But if I know I have to come here once a month and report, it's like, oh, I better do something.
I got to have something in the.
So
in
I guess
the
for me, it's accountability.
Oh, Janice. Lemon juice or vinegar. They never have cream of tartar, but they still complete what they're doing.
Okay.
I did not know that.
That's one way to look at it.
I guess it depends on what recipe you're using it for, because I don't know if you'd want that for cookies, because that'd be more moisture in a cookie.
Yes.
But I'm sure there's another substitute, a dry substitute, maybe somehow with baking soda or baking powder, maybe.
And that's another thing I think I've loved about chat is that the trade-offs, the substitutes, the alternate ways of doing things. I think I've learned more out of chat than I have anywhere, in all honesty. Hello, Back to Good. Thank you for coming in.
Dark Lord Minute, me. I like a crunchy cookie, bud. Crunchier the better.
I want both.
I want
the cookie that's chewy in the middle and crunchy on the outside.
It looks like we have a.
Yay! Christine's going to join in and report.
Christine's going to join in and report as well. It looks like, yeah. I think it depends on what I'm.
Where to begin responded about the cookies and juice. The more you know.
Okay.
The more you know.
What? Where? Oh.
Up on the screen. There you go.
Okay.
That is awesome.
Yep.
That's good, because white cream of tartar ends up cleaning the grill every year because it gets clumpy. And it is a good cleaning agent.
Good to know.
Yeah, so I just use it for that, and then I don't buy it, and then once every 2 years I go to make snickerdoodles, and I'm like, oh, cripes.
Here you go.
Buy it again.
1 teaspoon of juice or a half teaspoon of cream of tartar.
Write that down.
Oh, and Christine, it's okay. I used to go by Angie all the time.
Angie. Where we heard that before.
I've had people.
You're not that song, Angie Baby. Every time I hear that song, because by Helen Reddy.
Yes.
You're going to have to put that on your ringtone for when I call you.
Yep.
No, because that Angie was crazy.
And nobody is going to complain about that, Gail. You find 3 packages of Canadian bacon and didn't have to buy it. You did save yourself some money. There was another one I was going to pop up.
A black stovetop. Vinegar and baking soda.
Yeah, that's what I would use.
Toothpaste. You
can use vinegar and baking soda in your pipes too to clean out the grease. You let it sit there for a couple minutes, and then you pour boiling water. We actually plan when we're canning, if we're using a water bath canner, I'll go around the house and do that in the sinks, and then as we're getting rid of them, I dump the boiling water down, and then we clean the pipes.
Yeah. I'm with. Here's another thing I would love. I want to get to. I'm just trying to figure out where to put it in at. The back to basics, but I'm talking the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Not this, that, or the other. I mean, this is a basic thing. Once I figured out this, I was like, why haven't I been doing this for years?
Mm-hmm.
It takes 5 minutes and it's done. And I've got theoretically what would be 2 packages of brown sugar done.
I haven't bought Bisquick and I don't know how long. Like decades.
Yeah.
You have a homemade pancake batter?
Yeah.
It's
Bisquick. It's Bisquick. It's so I use it to make biscuits or breads or anything you use.
But you don't buy it. You make your own.
No, I make my own. I don't even remember what. Yeah. I need to do a series on baking mixes because I said I was going to show how to make your own boxed cake mixes. And I haven't done that yet. I said I was going to.
Let me know when you do it because I got a homemade brownie mix.
Ooh, yeah.
All you do is add the liquid stuff when you're ready to make it.
Yes. Yep.
So
the Bisquick.
But I mean, there you go. That's the basics I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, those things. And they never fit because you always see people doing DIY gravy mixes, DIY this, DIY that. And you never get pancake, biscuit, brownie in one category. You know, it doesn't usually fit that way. So yes. Okay. You can make your own powdered sugar. The problem is make sure the utensil or device you're using to spin the sugar in is glass, not plastic. Just a little heads up for you. Okay.
And it goes.
And yeah, you got that too. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Why?
Because actually with the sugar spinning or food processor or blender is the way a lot of people usually make their own homemade. Now, I'm not saying everybody does. I'm just going with what I know. Let me pull these back down. When it spins at that high velocity, it actually cuts into the plastic and eventually it'll break the container it's being spun in. If you do it multiple times. Yeah. So I just had to throw it out there for information.
Good to know.
Glass would be better because it won't cut into it.
Glass too.
Oh, it might because I've never done it in glass, so I don't know.
But I figure my kitchen tools are meant to be used, and they don't. You know, they're not going to look perfect always.
That's kind of basically the same thing. Oh, Angela's got some noise in the background.
I don't know what he's doing. He's watching. I don't know.
Farmer's watching football.
He was, but then I think he got on Facebook or something because it sounded like I don't know.
I thought it was Hell's Kitchen. Fire.
I don't know what it was.
You could make rice flour with rice.
Yep, you can.
Haven't done that
oat flour before.
Yeah, for my KitchenAid, and one of our neighbors is from India, and so she cooks with rice flour a lot. So I ground it up and I took it over and I said, "Can you tell me if this feels like something you would actually cook with?" And she said, "Yeah, it was exactly the same as the commercial."
Oh wow, that's cool.
So if you keep rice on hand like we do in 25-pound bags, you can always have rice flour available.
So Back to Good says they use a Ninja blender and it does mess it up, but it still works. So I know my food processor, I did it one time and I could see where it was trying to cut it into it. So I stopped. Yeah.
Did you see what Gail said? I want to go watch that.
What?
For real?
I didn't know that. I've watched that forever. We have a celebrity in the house.
Season 3.
All right. So anything else? Because we're winding down in the time here. So I'm trying to, if there's any suggestions from you guys in chat, please put them in there because I'm assuming we would like to know what those are.
We want to know what you want to talk about.
Yes.
I am so gonna go watch that now. That's all.
Well, Christine says they're watching season 3.
Oh, okay. We need more info, Gail.
Yeah, because I thought she was saying we were on.
Yeah, I was like, what? I just thought, well, maybe I missed something.
Oh, okay.
No, we are watching.
Never mind.
Yes.
It's been fun though.
There you go. I thought that was cool. I was all gonna go for it.
You got us. You got our hearts pumping there, Gail.
He asked me if there was anything I was looking forward to or looking to get out of this. I don't know if you responded or not.
No.
Me?
Michelle.
He didn't ask.
Michelle did, yeah.
Okay.
So, I asked her.
Okay, so what's your response then, Tony? What are you hoping that'll happen from this for you?
That one person learns one thing, and I'm accountable for my own job.
Yep.
Really.
But nothing special in your pantry other than just to restock?
Restock would be probably the best priority right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can restock with purpose too.
Yes, that is correct.
Don't you guys find it hard if you find a sale and there's like a clearance on something you might not have bought, but you know you could use? Then you get it, but you don't have a spot for it in your pantry.
It is hard, but that is honestly how I shop, or I have shopped. I may need to rethink all this, and then I find unique and different ways to try to use said product. Because if it's too good of a deal to pass up, I mean, you know.
But we found some really good products that we would have never tried either by doing that. I found the best buffalo sauce I will ever use, hands down. And it was like, seriously, like $1 a bottle. And it was so good. But now we go over to Amazon and it's like $9.99.
Right.
So it was good, but I don't know if it was that good. I need to learn how to make my own.
Well, it's kind of fun sometimes to get one or two of something, try it. And if you like it, then keep your eye out next time it goes on sale again.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's what we'll do. So everybody knows. So let's go ahead and plot out the next 2 dates so everybody knows what they are.
I see mentioning of garden. That's where I'm wanting to go towards my pantry too.
Say that again. Sorry.
Oh, people are talking about gardening. Teresa, we just really need to get a garden going and eat healthier. So I think that absolutely can be part of your pantry plan is your garden.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what I have is the 18th, and just for knowledge, I'm going to go with that's usually a 4-day weekend because of the President's holiday. Schools take Friday off and the Monday if they're going to. I don't know about you guys, but I know that's how we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Nobody has any plans to go anywhere. That's my question, I guess.
Not me.
No.
Okay.
I plan on being in the garden, actually.
February.
That would be one of our best weekends to start weeding.
So you know what, Angela? We can just sit here and have a conversation about non-existent Californians who have wonderful weather year-round, okay?
Yeah. We don't need to talk about being in the garden in February.
Wonderful weather year-round.
Compared to the rest of us, you do.
You know what? We have decided midsummer, our garden needs to be done. Because that is the most miserable time in California, in the Central Valley and Sacramento Valley. It is so unbearably hot. Our low is 72 sometimes. And
come up here where our low is usually 95 at that time period.
Oh, I know. We did that last summer. No, thank you. We're driving in the car with the air conditioner. Oh, this is so beautiful. We should live up here. And we got out of the car.
Yeah. Whoosh, you instantly sweated.
Oh my God, are we in California? Okay,
anyway,
so February 18th.
So the 18th of February is the next one we'll do. My pen doesn't want to write now.
Mine does. Do you like that pen? I made this pen.
That is cool.
15 years ago or so. Maybe longer.
There goes
okay, and then we'll go to March.
St. Patrick's Day.
Ooh, are we okay with that?
I am.
Everybody's Irish that day.
Okay. And daylight savings time starts the week before, isn't that wonderful?
Yay. Sorry, I'm going to try to find the mute button.
That's okay. March what?
17th.
Ooh. Maybe I'll have JJ make pastrami again.
Ooh. Okay. Yes, Heather. February 18th will be our next. What's up with your pantry? Is that the term I gave it? I can't remember now.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Emphasizing what's up with your pantry?
Your pantry. Yes.
Mossy. No.
So it's 2:00 Pacific Standard Time is what we do. That's 4:00 Central Standard Time or 5:00 Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. UK, you're 8 hours different than, well, at least parts of the UK are 8 hours different. So that would be your, somebody help me real quick. I can't think that fast. 10 p.m. ish. So
I'm with Nanny Tam. I would like to see the bottom of the deep freeze. I never can seem to ever get there because you just keep adding. You go get down there and then you go to the store and you stock up again. And then there's inevitably something in the very bottom that you forget about forever.
Right. And Suburban Hillbilly, I said, "What's up with your pantry?" No. Oh, that's funny. Okay.
So do we have anything in particular that we do want to talk about the next time, or are we just going to talk about what we've done and let it go at that?
I think for right now, other than I will bring a pantry sheet to show, put it in the description box, as well as I guess a following grocery list that would tie into it. And if you guys got something to offer, please bring it.
Probably have you the last email I sent you about this. We'll just use that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And go from there unless something exciting happens.
Yes. Hello, Stephanie. You made it. We're almost done, but thank you for showing up. Okay.
I have tomatoes rolling all around in my freezer, just roguely running loose. The bag broke open, and I was like, "Well, that's that." So I'm with Ann on that one.
You have rogue tomatoes running rampant in your freezer?
I do.
Are they like mini hard bowling balls or something?
Yeah. Every time you're gonna pick something up, one of them pops out and flies around.
I had done that. We had done that too a couple of years ago, and we had them in the big Ziploc bags, and one of the bags busted, and they were like all like marbles, giant marbles.
Yes. Yes.
Don't let them on your toe.
No, they hurt. I'm here to tell you that. All right, ladies. Anything else before we go?
See you all next month.
Have a good day.
Yes. If you have any questions or anything you'd like us to address, please email me. We'll do what we can. Thank you, Angela and Michelle, for coming on. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody in chat, everybody that modded, because as we always say, without all of us, this does not work. So thank you.
Tony, because it's your channel, I'm so sorry. What's going on with the word game that you have going on there? What's going to happen?
What's going on with the word game?
Yeah, you know.
We have another week to go in the losers bracket.
I think I'm the guest next week.
This coming Tuesday?
To cover somebody's that couldn't.
I will chat afterwards and we'll discuss that.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm reading real quick just to make sure I didn't miss something that somebody was.
Pool table knock somebody out.
Christine, you're in the winners bracket. You guys will get notification of your games here to come still. So
watch out, Christine.
Yes. And thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. You're always welcome here. And hopefully you can learn something from us, because our brains exude information. So, all right, guys, have a good night.